You won't believe this method worked. I went from 82 to 69 kilos. My body fat dropped from 18 to just 5%. I became the leanest I've ever been, and I'm going to tell you how I accomplished this and how you can too. Now, a quick disclaimer, all right? I am not a medical expert. I don't have a degree or certification in the field of health and fitness. This is based just on my own experience in trying to get in or stay in shape. You can try this method out in case it can work for you, but like I said, I am not a medical expert. However, I will try my best to explain my method to you in a way that's simple and easy to understand without too much complex scientific terms and all that. Alright, without further ado, let's get right to it. So I, ladies and gentlemen, became a monk for over 5 months. Now I know what you're thinking. Wait, what? I have to become a monk to get in the best shape of my life? And no guys, you absolutely don't need to. But what I want to do in this video is highlight the parts of my monk lifestyle that naturally made me lose fat and show how you can apply some of those same ideas. Now, first I have to give some context here. So I became a forest temple monk here in Thailand. I won't get into too much detail here, but basically forest monks live a more disciplined and more physically active kind of lifestyle compared to normal city monks. So for more context, I will explain about some disciplines which Thai forest monks follow, and at the same time, I will also take you through a day in my life as a forest monk, and you guys will see how this method made me lose so much fat. So as a forest monk, you are allowed to eat just one full meal per day. You can eat whatever you want, you can eat as much as you want, but it must be eaten before noon. However, before you can eat your meal as a monk, you have to go on an alms round, which is basically a long walk out of the temple early in the morning, typically through nearby neighborhoods where you go collect food offerings from people. At my temple, this walk usually took about an hour or a little more, depending on the occasion that day. After you finish the alms round, you return to the temple for a daily ritual of giving merits to the people attending. And this is done by performing chants. Some temples, like the one I stayed at, will have a head monk who will give a talk, speech, or lecture. And his lectures will typically last around half an hour to 1 hour or more, depending on the occasion. After that, the ritual begins with chantings that last around 5 minutes. And then you are finally allowed to eat your meal, which will be at around 9:30 to 10:30 a.m. Now, I'm sure just straight off the bat, you can see that this is no easy kind of lifestyle, as you are only allowed one full meal per day. But please bear with me first and don't run away yet thinking that you also need to eat just one meal per day to lose fat. I will get back to that again later. As a matter of fact, as a forest monk, you are allowed to eat and have snacks after noon, but the options are rather quite limited. Dairy is not allowed. Moreover, you're only allowed a certain very limited select type of fruits, herbs, vegetables, nuts, seeds. Juices are allowed as long as there is no pulp. You are also allowed to drink coffee, but like I said, no dairy, so it must be plain only. Alright, now that dieting is out the way, let's move on to the daily activities of a forest monk. So each monk shall have assigned duties to carry out throughout the day, and they tend to be chore-like kinds of activities like sweeping or cleaning various parts or areas of the temple. Generally, they are activities involved in the nature of taking care of or maintaining the temple. Some monks may also be assigned gardening duties like watering, planting, or decorating plants or trees. During my monkhood there, I myself would also have to carry out these duties, and this would start fairly early in the morning. So I'd wake up at around 4 a.m. and start the day off with cleaning chores around the temple, which took about half an hour or so. Then, as a monk, you have to set up and arrange your monastic requisite items for daily use. Then we get ready for our alms round, so this is when we put our robes and alms bowl. And the head monk will also give us a brief lecture before we start the alms round, which will be at around 6:30 a.m. So later on in the day, right after the alms round, the merit giving ritual, after we're done eating our meal and washing up, there will be more duties to carry out throughout the day, and this would start at around 2 p.m. early in the afternoon. During my time there, I actually did a variety of different kinds of works, activities. Generally, I did sweeping and cleaning up work, but I also helped out in all kinds of gardening work as well. I was quite fortunate during my time there to have a senior monk who took quite exceptional care of me. He helped encourage me through his teachings to stay productive and proactive, so I volunteered for extra work whenever I could, sometimes even manual labor kinds of works, like lifting heavy equipments or help set up for events which our temple would sometimes host. Another thing, when you're a new monk at this temple, you also have to do your own personal chores. So you have to clean your own living quarters and do your own laundry as well. And at this temple, laundry is manually done by hand with no washing machines. Anyways, all the duties of my day would end at around 5 to 7 p.m. Then I returned to my living quarters to shower, wind down for the end of the day, and I would finally go to sleep at around 8:30 to 9 p.m. So that wraps up a day in my life as a forest monk. And once again, guys, you do not need to go become a monk like I did. But I think from what I've described, whether it's the dietary discipline or the daily activities, you can sort of get the picture as to how it ties into how you can lose fat. You eat just one full meal per day, and there are long fasting periods coupled with a physically active kind of lifestyle. And when you strip everything away, it really just comes down to one thing, and that's eating less and moving more. As a normal person before my 5-month plus monkhood, I certainly ate more than just one meal per day. And frankly, I'd say most of the times I was less physically active. Hence, it resulted in me having 18% body fat. But after 5 months of a more physically active kind of lifestyle, whilst eating just one meal per day, all that fat was burnt off. Now, I want to talk more about my diet as a monk. So when food came round to me, I tried to make my selections as balanced as possible and in accordance with the activities done prior or about to do later in the day. I would always prioritize proteins, so I'd scoop in as much like chicken, fish, eggs, and such. Since the lifestyle is physical, as I explained, I would also have to get carbs in, so I mostly stuck to rice for that. For desserts, I tried to get a good variety of fruits in, although honestly, sometimes I had cakes, pastries, and biscuits as well. I mean, frankly, during my time there, I didn't really do any calorie counting or that kind of stuff. Since the lifestyle is a physically active one and honestly sometimes grueling, I was confident already that I was burning more calories than I consumed. I have to also point out again that this was in Thailand and the weather was really hot at certain times. There were many days where I was just drenched in sweat. So I wasn't really concerned every time I ate, as I was confident already that I'll be in a calorie deficit anyways. Between the chores, the walking or the arms round, and the heat, I was basically doing fasted cardio like every day. For beverages, I kept it quite simple with water and plain black coffee. Alright, so what was the outcome and result after 5 months of Thai forest monkhood? Well, when I ordained, I weighed 82 kilos or 180 pounds. And after over 5 months of monkhood, I weighed 69 kilos or 152 pounds. For my body fat, this time I got it measured at a gym and it dropped down to 5%. So I lost 13 kilos or 28 pounds of weight, and I burnt off about 13% of body fat. Now, what are the takeaways here if you are looking to lose weight or burn fat? Again, you do not need to go become a monk like I did, and losing weight wasn't the reason that I decided to become a monk. My goal with this video is to give you some ideas which you can use to adapt into your own fat or weight loss journey by highlighting certain aspects of my monkhood lifestyle. I do believe the method is simple, guys. It's basically about eating less and moving more. By the way, you don't need to eat just one meal per day. Honestly, for most people, that'd be too advanced and just too restrictive. Although I recommend you try incorporating fasting periods into your routine, as fasting hasn't just worked for me, but many other people as well. You can get in shape by eating 3 meals, although you do need to feed your body with the highest quality of calories as possible. So stick to single ingredient whole foods. If the food didn't exist at least 100 years ago or more, if it wasn't grown out of the ground or directly came from an animal, then don't eat it. Stay away from processed foods, refined sugars, and seed oils, all that junk, right? Be sure first that you always prioritize proteins. Stick to 1 gram per pound of your body weight or 2 grams per kilo of your weight. Then feed yourself the highest quality of carbs and fats. For some of you, the chances are that you may need to reduce the amount of food that you eat in a day. But trust me, you will feel full more and have less cravings once you stick to healthier, whole, less junky food options with high amounts of proteins. You have to move your body more. Now, this doesn't mean multiple hours at the gym on 6 or 7 days per week. You can start just by making simple tweaks in your lifestyle. Use stairs instead of escalators or elevators. Ride a bike instead of driving if your destination isn't too far. You can park your car further away so you can walk more. Some of you may have a housekeeper or maid who does your chores for you. Well, perhaps you could start doing them by yourself. It really doesn't matter what you do just as long as you are moving your body more every day. Now, if you are someone who already exercises or goes to the gym, then that's great. Making more time to exercise or going to the gym can certainly help. From my own experience for getting in shape, I suggest focusing on body weight kinds of trainings or compound movements. Do stay tuned, by the way, for upcoming videos where I talk about exercises that have helped me get lean. Finally, prioritize your sleep more. Resting and recovery is crucial, so make sure you get your 6 to 8 hours every night. I won't get into all the details, but trust me, sleep is the best natural performance enhancing drug, so do not neglect your sleep. And that wraps it up, guys. Thank you so much for taking your time to watch this video. Hope you've gotten value out of it. Leave a like if it has and drop a comment. Feel free to share any weight or fat loss methods that have worked for you. And finally, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you can tune into more content to help you stay strong, healthy, confident, and happy. That's all for now, guys. Have a fantastic day. God bless you all.